Good evening, Cabinet and visitors. Welcome to tonight's Cabinet meeting. Just before we start, I'd like to go through the fire evacuation procedures for tonight's meeting. There are no fire alarms scheduled for this evening, and therefore, if the fire alarm sounds, please evacuate the building immediately. The fire exit is to my rear. Go down the stairs and meet in the War Memorial Park. I remind us all that the webcast is on tonight for the majority of the agenda's items, but for item 7 we will be going into a closed session on the basis that we have pink papers in front of us, so welcome for that. The items, first of all, there are no apologies for absence tonight. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? No. I have no urgent matters in front of me, and therefore we move to the minutes of the meeting held on the 11th of February. Is everyone accept that they are a true and accurate record of our meeting? Thank you. Then we take them as read. We move now to item 5, which is the revenue capital monitoring up to the 31st of December. And to introduce that is the Cabinet Member for Finance and Service Improvement, Hannah Golding.
Thank you, Leader. I'm pleased to report that the latest forecast of revenue and capital spend for the current year shows that the Council's finances continue to be managed well within budget, with a forecast budget saving of 0.73 million in the current financial year. Expenditure on services is expected to be within 0.5% of the budget, so the forecast budget saving is the result of additional income successfully generated by the Council. In particular, the report explains how additional income has been generated from new and existing property investments and from the management of the Council's cash investments. Also important to note is that at Q3, 94.57% of savings have already been identified as achieved or forecast to be achieved, which is vital for the well-running and financial management of the Council. In terms of capital, the report also confirms that the Council is on track to deliver its ambitious capital programme, with capital expenditure forecast to be 26.7 million this year, which is 95% of the latest budget. This significant investment in services and infrastructure within the borough will be vital to ensure the Council is able to continue a high level of service to its residents. I therefore ask the Cabinet to note the 5 points laid out in the report on page 16. Thank you.
I'm grateful for that. Cabinet, would you like to say anything to it, or shall we note it as a agreed paper? Noted. Thank you very much. I move now to item number 6, which is place shaping, a place-based approach to our communities. This is going to be introduced to us by Sir John. There we are. Well, I'm it seems I seem that
I know you're well connected.
I am well connected, and I look forward to the opportunity to ensure that Her Majesty sorts it all out for you. Anyway, the foreword and your comments to this paper.
I better do this rather well then, hadn't I? Yes, thank you, Leader. I'm very pleased to bring this initiative forward to Cabinet, and would like to congratulate the officer team on all the hard work they've done, because I think this is going to be an important, innovative piece of work for the future. The report is place shaping, a place-based approach to our communities. This is how we're going to better help our communities and ensure that they have the right access to services and facilities. It's a new, innovative and comprehensive approach to understanding our communities better, what their strengths are, what their needs are, what their aspirations are. It's going to give us a consistent methodology so that we can prioritise our interventions and support and better direct our scarce resources. And I hope that it will also help to empower our communities and make sure that in future scarce resources are distributed not just on the basis of those who shout loudest and those who are the best organised. So there's an output from this will be a comprehensive database across the borough that will be available to communities and to our partners in the voluntary sector and housing associations, etc. And I hope they're going to make full use of it in the future and work with us to build it up so that it's a very useful, up-to-date, thorough document or database. The aim will be to make sure that we have the right facilities in the right places, which is not always the case at the moment, and channel investment where it is most needed. Colleagues will note that we're going to start with 3 initial pilot projects so that we can assess what the learning experiences are from those, so that we can implement it across the borough in the years ahead, and there will be action plans that will follow. So I'm looking forward very much to this initiative being implemented in the months and years ahead.
Cabinet, would you like to say anything to this? No? I just note the next steps that are going to be made to this approach. Obviously, commence the pilots, and I'm delighted to see that the areas chosen are areas that we need to significantly help. And it is also good to see a rural area included in that, because sometimes people think everybody who lives in rural communities is wealthy. That is not the case, and it is right that we've managed to bring one of these areas forward for a significant increase in its place shaping and place making. So I look forward to working through this over the months and years to come, because some of this will take a long time to deliver, and it's important that we see long-term projects being brought forward within the borough to give our residents the confidence that we believe that this is a long-term sustainable community and something that we can get our teeth into over a period of time. So I look forward to it, and I'm sure that the place shaping approach to communities will be endorsed by us all. So thank you. We move now to the agenda item 7. My apologies. We have to agree the recommendation as outlined in the papers. Are we all agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Thank you. We now move to item 7. We will have to move into private session for this, and therefore do I have your agreement that we move to private session within this? Thank you. Now we are back in open session. Item 7 on the agenda has been agreed with the recommendation. The recommendation was that members note the White Young Green report and its findings, and in principle to approve the transition of the joint client service from Hart District Council to Basingstoke and Deane District Borough Council on the terms to be mutually agreed on the 29th of May 2020, or where agreement cannot be reached, then a dual client function will be created at Basingstoke and Deane Borough Council for the management of the waste and recycling service here within this borough. Thank you. We have now reached the end of the agenda, and I close tonight's meeting of the Cabinet. Thank you for your attendance.